Lately, the internet has been flooded with a highly specific genre of video, people strapping tiny cameras to their cat's collar to see exactly what they do when humans leave the house. Most owners assume their pets spend the day asleep on the couch. The footage usually shows something different. Their relentless patrolling, darting through long hallways, and long, intense periods of staring at completely empty corners of a room. When we see this behavior, we try to interpret it through a canine lens, treating them like small dogs. The cats are highly attuned solitary predators with an entirely different set of biological hardware, and that points to the central limitation of the POV trend. A physical camera strapped to a collar captures the video feed of a living room, but it cannot show us how the feline brain actually processes and interprets that visual data. To understand our pets' most bizarre and inconvenient habits, we have to stop watching them from the outside. We have to decode the domestic environment exactly as their sensory biology constructs it. When you and your cat look at the exact same living room, you are experiencing two distinct physical spaces. Let's start with how you both map that room visually. This diagram shows the difference in our field of view. Humans max out at about 180 degrees. Cats, however, see a sweeping 200 degrees. They sacrifice some of the binocular overlap that gives us sharp depth perception, prioritizing a much wider net to detect peripheral motion. Inside that eye is a biological structure called the tapetum lucidum. It acts like a mirror sitting right behind the retina. When a particle of light enters a cat's eye, it passes through the retina, hits this layer, and reflects it back through the retina a second time. This lets a cat see in the dark using roughly 1/6 the light a human needs. There is an evolutionary trade-off to this night vision. Because their eyes are optimized for gathering dim light, they struggle to focus in bright environments. That focal point ends up stopping short of the retina, leaving cats severely nearsighted. An object you can clearly see from 100 feet away, a cat can only bring into focus from 20 feet. So when your cat stares blankly at a wall from across the room, they aren't necessarily looking at anything. Instead, they might be relying on their moustachial whiskers. During active play or predatory stalking, these whiskers fan forward to act as a secondary radar system. They pick up on tiny air currents and microscopic physical contact from insects or rodents that are completely invisible to our naked eye. A living room that appears completely still and empty to you is a dense, hyper-stimulating web of sensory data to a cat. A cat's physical behavior is governed by a strict biological schedule that works alongside their specialized senses. You've likely seen your cat suddenly tear across the house, jump over the sofa, and spin in circles. In veterinary medicine, these are called frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs. You probably know them as the Zoomies. They act as a biological release valve for pent-up metabolic energy. Cats are crepuscular creatures. Their ancestral hunting instincts are hardwired to peak during the low light hours of dawn and dusk, which is why these energy bursts often happen when you're trying to sleep. In the wild, this energy is spent on a highly structured sequence. First, they stalk. Next, they pounce. And finally, kill. An indoor cat is largely deprived of this physical outlet. Without live prey to hunt, that stored crepuscular energy erupts into aimless sprints. There's also the unique phenomenon of the post-litter box zoomie. Defecation stimulates the feline vagus nerve, triggering a transient drop in blood pressure, followed immediately by a rush of adrenaline. That physical relief literally jumpstarts their engine. Whether triggered by the time of day or a digestive adrenaline spike, Zoomies are never random. They are a direct, unavoidable physiological response to evolutionary programming. Those predatory instincts also force cats to physically map their living space, completely redefining the purpose of our standard human furniture. Vertical spaces, like high shelves or the tops of cabinets, allow a cat to achieve visual security and monitor the room for perceived predators. Similarly, when they dig their claws into the side of your couch, it isn't spiteful misbehavior. Scratching is a mandatory method of territorial scent marking, and it provides the exact rough friction they need to shed their outer nail sheaths. An indoor cat is constantly curating and defending a safe territory, turning our casual living rooms into a highly regulated ecosystem. Because cats are solitary hunters in the wild, they are biologically adapted to hide any signs of vulnerability. This means their physical communication is incredibly subtle and easily missed by human owners. This matrix breaks down their somatic signaling. When a cat's ears are erect, it signals a relaxed state. If they flatten against the head, it's high anxiety. For tail carriage, an upright curve indicates friendly greeting, while rapid swishing points to irritation. Then there are ocular cues. If a cat makes direct eye contact and gives you a slow, deliberate blink, they are displaying a profound sign of trust and affiliative bonding. It is the feline equivalent of a human smile. This scientific context redefines the viral POV trend, revealing the tactical movements of a predator responding to stimuli we will never see. Seeing the home through a cat's eyes reveals a hyper-aware creature, relying entirely on its human owners to understand its secret language and build an enriching, secure world.